For centuries, humanity has taken from nature, felling forests, diverting rivers, and reshaping entire landscapes to suit our needs. The scars of our ambition are visible from the sky. Vast stretches of clear-cut land, rivers forced from their ancient courses, and ecosystems left gasping for survival. But in 2015, Canada made a historic decision to give back. The Boreal Rewatering Initiative was born, a bold, billion-gallon effort to heal its parched northern forests and restore balance to a wounded wilderness. The plan was audacious, pouring fresh water into vast, dry woodlands to reverse decades of climate-driven drought, mismanagement, and neglect. It was a leap of faith, a gamble on nature's resilience. Once lush and teeming with life, these forests had become tinderboxes, fueling catastrophic wildfires and threatening the survival of countless species that called them home. This wasn't just about stopping fires. It was about restoring the natural water cycles and rhythms that had sustained these lands for millennia, bringing back the wetlands and streams that once defined the boreal landscape. Scientists, engineers, and indigenous elders joined forces, combining traditional knowledge with modern science. Their goal: to replenish water tables, revive ancient peatlands, and breathe life back into a suffocating landscape, giving hope to plants, animals, and people alike. The project was a declaration, proof that we could be stewards, not just takers, and that our actions could help heal what we once harmed. A decade later, the results are in: astonishing successes, unexpected challenges, and a landscape transformed in ways no one could have fully predicted. The world is watching, eager to learn from Canada's bold experiment and the lessons it offers for global restoration efforts. Canada dared to dream of a greener, wetter, more resilient future, and that dream is becoming reality. The forest, given a chance to heal, has responded in remarkable, sometimes unexpected ways, with new growth and returning wildlife. This is the story of nature's comeback and our role in making it possible, reminding us that hope and action can change the world. The Boreal Rewatering Initiative was born from disaster, a response to a crisis that threatened not just the land, but the very climate balance of the region. Catastrophic wildfires, like the devastating 2016 Fort McMurray blaze, exposed the forest's vulnerability and the urgent need for action. Scientists revealed that the boreal's moss and peat, once lush and waterlogged, were drying out, turning a vital carbon sink into a dangerous carbon source, accelerating climate change. The crisis sparked a unique coalition. Government agencies, top hydrologists, forestry experts, and environmental advocates all came together. First Nations leaders joined, recalling a time when the land was wetter, healthier, and more balanced, sharing traditional knowledge and wisdom. Dr. Elise Moreau, a leading climatologist, proposed a radical solution, one that challenged conventional thinking and inspired hope. Her idea was to redirect excess spring meltwater from northern rivers into the parched forests, restoring the natural hydrology. The plan was simple but bold: treat the root cause, not just the symptoms, and bring water back to where it was needed most. The boreal forest, one of Earth's greatest carbon stores and a crucial ecosystem, was at stake. With bipartisan support and a dedicated national budget, the project quickly became a symbol of Canada's commitment to climate action and ecological stewardship. It was more than science. It was a shared mission, uniting communities, scientists, and leaders to protect a global treasure for future generations. Thus, the Great Canadian Rewatering began, fueled by urgency, determination, and hope for a restored, resilient future. The initiative rested on 3 pillars, each one essential for the survival and flourishing of our natural world. These pillars were forest health, biodiversity, and climate stability, 3 elements that together form the backbone of a thriving ecosystem. First, raising the water table would make forests more resilient to drought, pests, and wildfires, transforming dry moss and peat into natural fire breaks that slow the spread of flames and protect vital habitats. Second, rehydrating wetlands would revive habitats for countless species. Birds, amphibians, fish, and megafauna like moose and caribou would all benefit from the return of lush, life-giving wetlands. Rivers would flow stronger and longer, wetlands would expand, and this would trigger a cascade of ecological recovery, supporting both wildlife and people who depend on these landscapes. Third, saturated peatlands would halt carbon release and become powerful carbon sinks once again, helping to fight climate change by locking away greenhouse gases that would otherwise warm our planet. These goals were deeply interconnected. A healthier, wetter forest supports more wildlife, stores more carbon, and creates a more stable climate for future generations. The project wasn't just about trees or animals, it was about restoring the balance of an entire ecosystem, ensuring that every part of the web of life could thrive together. The health of forests, wildlife, and climate are inseparable. When one thrives, so do the others, and when one suffers, all are at risk. The Boreal Rewatering Initiative was a unified vision for renewal, bringing together science, community, and hope for a better future. It proved that healing nature means healing ourselves, and that by working together, we can restore the forests, fauna, and future we all depend on. Launching the Boreal Rewatering Initiative was a feat of engineering and ecological precision. Starting in spring 2015, teams captured peak meltwater using temporary weirs and pumps, diverting it into a network of pipelines and canals. Water was delivered strategically, targeting ancient riverbeds, peat-rich zones, and dry depressions. In remote areas, helicopters and water bombers mimicked rainfall, saturating the forest from above. For 3 springs, billions of gallons flowed into Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta, monitored by satellites, sensors, and drones. The infrastructure was designed to be temporary and low impact, providing a jump start to the ecosystem's natural water cycle. After 3 years, the plan was to let nature take over, with only minor interventions as needed. The project was a testament to human ingenuity in service of the wild. It was about giving the forest the boost it needed to heal itself. The transformation was immediate and dramatic. Within months, dry moss softened, the scent of damp earth returned, and long-dormant creeks began to flow. Botanists saw an explosion of growth. Ferns, sedges, and sphagnum moss flourished, restoring the forest's natural sponge. Waterfowl and shorebirds flocked to new wetlands, and amphibians filled the nights with their calls. The ecosystem's foundation was mending, visible and audible to all. Not all changes were smooth. Some areas suffered erosion or became overly boggy, complicating monitoring efforts. These challenges were quickly addressed, with teams adjusting water flow and distribution in real time. The process was dynamic, listening to the land and responding to its needs. Early setbacks became valuable lessons, shaping a more adaptive approach. The forest was not just recovering, it was thriving. The landscape was breathing again. 10 years on, the results are clear. The rewatered forests are healthier and more fire resilient. Wildfires now smolder and self-extinguish in damp peatlands rather than raging out of control. Aquifers are recharged, streams flow year-round, and water quality has improved thanks to revitalized wetlands. Wildlife has flourished. Caribou herds linger in lush zones, and beavers have returned, building new ponds and enhancing water retention. The ecosystem is now self-sustaining, with nature's engineers taking over where humans left off. Most importantly, re-wetted peatlands have stopped releasing old carbon and are once again absorbing CO2. Canada's forests are performing as one of the planet's great green lungs. The project is a beacon of hope in the fight against climate change. The forest's answer to our intervention is unmistakable: resilience, renewal, and abundance. Nature, when given a chance, can heal itself in us. The decade-long project brought surprises no one predicted. Dormant seeds awoke, rare orchids and wetland flowers bloomed after a century's absence. The forest's soundscape transformed, with richer bird calls, insect hums, and the gurgle of new streams, a true acoustic renaissance. Underground, mycorrhizal fungi networks exploded, connecting trees and distributing water more efficiently than models predicted. This fungal superhighway accelerated recovery, even on higher ground. Socially, the project became a catalyst for reconciliation, empowering First Nations communities and blending traditional knowledge with science. Elders became mentors, guiding new Indigenous guardians in land stewardship. The project healed not just the land, but relationships, showing the power of collaboration. Success didn't come without setbacks. Early on, water leached carbon from dry peat, darkening streams and lowering oxygen, temporarily harming fish until systems stabilized. Invasive plants took advantage of disturbed ground, requiring costly, ongoing removal and reseeding with native species. Engineering challenges arose: pipeline failures, expensive aerial hydration, and tough conditions in remote areas. Social and political friction surfaced as downstream communities worried about water security and hydroelectric impacts. Extensive consultations and transparent data helped ease concerns, but the complexity of managing water at scale was clear. Restoration is never a one-time fix. It demands vigilance and adaptation. Even the best intentions must navigate nature's and society's unpredictability. Canada's Great Rewatering is now a global model for active restoration. It proved that large-scale ecological healing is possible and necessary in a world facing climate and biodiversity crises. The project's success lay in blending cutting-edge science with indigenous wisdom, creating a living blueprint for others to follow. Nations from Siberia to Africa are studying Canada's approach, seeing rehydration as a powerful tool for carbon capture and wildfire prevention. The lesson is clear: water security and climate security are inseparable. Canada's story is one of hope, courage, and humility, a reminder that we can be caretakers, not just consumers. The gentle return of water, the chorus of frogs, the resilience of green landscapes, these are the rewards of daring to give back. Nature, when restored, offers a path to a sustainable future for all.